from the country of Malaysia. And as you said that learning English, learning English language, various reasons you have explained about it. And now I have another question for you. What are the activities should we following for learning English language according to you? Especially we see that people from around the world they are very much keen and very much interested to learn English language. So according to your observation, what are the skills, activities which people can follow for learning language and then how it is important for them?
According to me, as we know, everyone, not only kids or elders, when we come to learning, definitely to read the book or memorize, it's quite boring. So it might also lose their interest. So when it comes to learning something, even language or even any other subjects, we have to do it in a unique way. In my opinion, I like to give them the way that they prefer. For example, for kids, for language, I prefer to give them with activities like organized games. With that, like maybe like short stories they can talk. So with that, they can improve their language. We have to organize an activity according to their age and also according to their availability. Once we organize games like that, such like which attracts their interest, it might help them to improve their English without their knowledge. So when it games, they'll be very interested, excited to play that game. They don't know what is the key point of the game, but they will also enjoy the game. At the same time, they will also learn the English. So for adults, we can also organize an event, because over here, since COVID-19 came up, there's a lot of online activities which is organized by even my university. They organize a lot of activities which attract students. So like with that, we can do the quiz or quiz board, or a lot of online platforms are there to organize events for the people. So with that, I think they will attract the students to learn more English language. Not only English language, I think this type of learning might also attract the student to learn all the subjects, in my opinion.
Excellent. And how important it is to learn language these days? What do you think about the importance of learning language according to you?
According to me, not only language, education is very, very important, because without educations, we are nothing. With that, we can nothing, money, gold, or any other property, it doesn't matter. The education is the most important rule for, I mean, important tools for people. So with that, we can even rule the country with the peace. So I that is my goal, which I have to, I believe that I want every people in this country have to learn education is very important, which they should apply from small. So I would like to be a part of this to help kids. So I hope that will help them in whatever I can do. So I hope this is help. So if learning language, in my opinion, language is important not only when they are kids in the school life, but it also help them in future when they communicating with their client, when they are organizing an event or organizing a presentations. So language is very important. So with that, they can improve every skills. So language is very important in my opinion.
Okay, and then when we talk about English language, so how important it is, especially in the terms of education? Like, I mean to say, how much role does it play in the education learning English language? People, those who have good knowledge about English language, how helpful it becomes for them to improve their education.
I'm not sure about the data in the Google, but according to me, I think it plays a 50-50 role, because without English, we can't learn any other subjects, in my opinion, because most of all my subjects are in English. So without English, I won't be able to understand any other subjects. So according to me, English language plays 50% of the role, rather than other education subjects.
Absolutely, I do agree with you because that's why we want to make sure that first of all, the people, students, kids, first of all, they learn the language, especially international language, and then it's going to help them a lot in their education. Once they have very good knowledge about English language in speaking, understanding, reading, writing, and all, then after that it is going to be easy for them to focus on their studies, whatever subjects they study. So all the subjects are in English language. If they know the English, that means all the subjects are going to be easy for them to learn, understand, and then to do a lot of things over there. So that's why we are making sure that people, students, and the kids, adults, they learn English language and then get a good fluency in English language also. Okay, now the next question is, what are the activities people do follow in your country learning language? What kind of activities do they follow in your country? What kind of methods do they follow for learning language? Do they follow the grammar translation method of learning language or the direct structural method of learning language? Which kind of method is
We
being
we
followed in your
follow
country?
grammatic grammar order first.
No, no, I mean to say like a grammar translation method do you follow in your country or people follow in your country for learning English language?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
The question is, do people follow the grammar translation method to learn English language in your country, or else do they follow the direct structural method of learning English language, which is English to English? Which kind of method do people follow in your country learning
Oh no,
English
we
language?
follow in English to English. We don't follow the
Okay, okay, no, especially the kids and adult, both, or
more over here English is a key role, very important. For even in kindergarten we will English is very important, so they will start from kindergarten and make sure without English we cannot go to higher studies, we cannot pass. So like English is very important. Once we pass English, then only we can go to any other subjects. So make sure they understand the key and everything. So most of the people over here will be able to speak English.
okay, so and then I know the second language is here Malay, Malay language.
No, the first language is Malay, second language is English.
Sorry, yeah, first language is Malay and second language is English. Okay, so now you can ask me, I think, few questions, one or two questions before we end this conversation.
Mm. As you said, how do you think English is important?
The second question, okay. How do I think English is important? There are various reasons, as you already explained about international language, the language of technology, when we talk about the globalization, and then when we talk about studying all the subjects, medical, non-medical, all the subjects are in English language, and then having conversation with people from around the world, getting prepared for job interviews, getting the better jobs when we have the good English speaking communication skills. And then apart from that, building up our confidence, the personality. So various reasons are there for learning English language and the importance of learning language. And then when we keep on talking about it, will go on, list will go so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other questions.
Um, in in your opinion, do you think the way that I told you earlier is easier to make the students understand, or can I know, or how do you guys make sure the students? How do you guys teach the students?
Okay. Actually, our teaching method is entirely different than others. So, what happens when you work on particular field for a longer period of time, you get confident that how this is supposed to be happening. So that's why after that you then go into that particular field. You know that this is what I can do it better. So it is something same like us also when we started teaching language maybe 10 years back, 11 years back. So we just had little bit experiment how language has to be taught to the kids. As you said that they like to learn languages like fun, not giving them much stress. and the grammar rules, regulations, and all. Having small conversation and then question answers, some words, word powers, singing songs in English language, asking few questions, conversations, little reading sentences. There are, and then we should have one kind of, like a clear picture. Clear picture means there should be a one kind of syllabus. Syllabus means like when we talk about teaching English language, what are the important topics that students might be aware of? They must know all these topics. Topics means like which is very essential contents of learning language, even for teaching language also. That's why people are joining in the online class. Online class will follow the order of teaching language. The first stage, second, the first, second, third, fourth. Systematically it will follow and then it will give confident also. Generally, like casually talking from here and there, we can just have conversation, that's it. So, and then when we talk about various topics, the contents, so what happens when students will keep on covering their different topics? After covering their lot of topics, they definitely will get the confident. Okay, we know the modal verbs, we know the auxiliary verbs, we know the sentences, we know the noun numbers, genders, we know three forms of verb, 100, 200. This is what the, like, some activities based on the various contents which are very important. Then practicing, teaching, having conversations, having fun, playing games with them, and making them to ask questions one another. We follow various kind of activities, and then making sure that skills are being used, their components, skills like listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking in English, components, basic components of English language, word power, pronunciation, structure, building of the words. Because any language we speak, we use words. Words are very important. If we know words, we can use words in sentences. Having conversation to someone, if someone is talking to us and that person is also using some words in that particular sentence, when we know the words, we have ability to understand the language as well as to speak language also. So we need to make sure that teaching English to kids, we try to develop their word power also according to basic structures. Then it goes. This is not like the one pattern of learning language. There are various ways which we need to keep on following. A small grammar portion, the word power, conversation, the sentences, playing games, quiz, and then having some storytelling activities like that. So kids tell small stories, and then later on they become a habitual of learning language, and then building up the confidence in speaking English language also. Always they have the opportunity to listen from us Monday to Friday in the online classes. When we speak, they listen. So 50% they can just copy from us whatever we are speaking. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's one question which is always bothering me. According to what I've surveyed and also got gone through things and so on, over India's education level is very very high because according to Singapore, they they take India's education more valuable compared to Malaysians one. But can I know the reason why still there are people who is not confident to speak up in English? Because as I don't know, I'm not really sure about it, but this is what I've seen in things, like I've seen
Various
my personally.
reasons. Various reasons, as you said about our country in India, why people are not able to speak English. Not
The
one
confident
reason.
level are not there, but their grammatical is more accurate compared to any other places
Yeah,
as I see.
absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, what is the problem in our country? As you know that India is very big country. It is not a small country. And then another thing is that in India we have 28 states. So each states will follow their state language. So English always will remain the second language for them, and in some places English can be the third language. Like in villages they are speaking some another language for conversation. When they go to school they are speaking the national language. When they want to learn English, it is becoming for them the third language or second language. And the education whatever is happening in government schools and in the private schools, So English is being taught in the schools by translating it into their local languages, by which they have very good knowledge about English grammar. What when it comes in speaking language, they have not confident, because they are not habitual to speak, because most of the time the language they speak, the atmosphere they come from, the state they come from, it's not like in India we have only one language which all Indian will follow. And after that, English is the second language. If it happens something like that, then I think people might have picked it very soon. But in India, a lot of languages, and then different states, and then somewhere English is as the second language, the third language. And then after learning English also, people love to speak with their own languages. They feel more comfortable, even teachers, even the students also. That's why the Indian students, though they have good knowledge about grammar, but in speaking area people are not much confident, and then they have some shyness to speak English language. But these days we can see some of the kids and some this new generation, they are doing better job comparing than the previous time. And then the northern part of India, people love speaking Hindi language most of the time. Means even after learning English also, they give preference to speaking their own language. They feel more comfortable to talk and to have conversation. So then in that way also they neglect this speaking English language. That's so why. And various reasons, as I told you, there can be not the one particular reasons. These are the hindrances by which this English is not much spoken in India, why the people or by the students. Any other questions? No. So it was very nice meeting to you, and then see you in the next conversation part also. Yeah, bye.